Hey guys, I thought I'd take you through another hip mobility session that may assist you. I know a lot of you guys have asked questions about how to loosen hips. We spent a long time in a seated position, and that can really cause a great deal of long-term chronic kind of stress and cohesion or corrosion rather to your hips and all the muscles and ligaments around your hips. So here we go. I thought I would start with a squat rotating to the sky, but before we do that, I'm going to start with one elbow inside, moving all the way out to the side like so. You're just really starting by loosening up that hip joint, trying to get as far into your squat as you possibly can. Doing about 8 a side. Now, if you feel like you can stay into this squat, it's going to really help you. The idea is to get as deep into the squat as you possibly can. If you don't use it, you lose it. So many of us are really underexposed to a deep squat, and it just opens up the hips beautifully. Another great way to be able to rotate through that squat is to bring one hand on the ground, bringing your other opposing hand all the way up to the sky for a series of 8. Really try and rotate all the way through your torso here. Wonderful way to open all the way up to the sky. Gets a great stretch out through the side of the body and the trunk also. You want to get yourself exposed to all different planes, directions and ranges of motion. It's got to be about 8. Now I'll get you to hop up. What we're going to do now is do a diagonal stretch. So you'll bring one foot forward, the other foot back. We'll be in like a lunge position, and what we're going to do is concentrate on bending this back knee, leaning back so you're bringing your torso into extension. Then what we're going to do is I'll show you from this side actually. So left foot's forward, right foot is back, and you're bringing a bend into that back knee. You're bringing your right hand on the left side of your chest. You're going to look over your left shoulder. You're going to try and bring that left hand as far down whilst rotating through your trunk. Getting as far down and then coming back. So once again, I'll do it on the other side. Here. Great. Another really great stretch. Another really great stretch is going to be a butterfly stretch. So we're going to start nice and upright. Hands just on your toes or up near your ankles. And what we're going to try and do is just actively push our knees down as far as we can for 5 seconds and then release. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and release. You can do this 5 or 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and release. Notice my heels are together and my torso is upright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and release. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and release. We're going to move on to a 90-90 stretch. So what we're doing here is we're having our front foot at roughly 90 degrees, or leg at 90 degrees, and then our back leg's also going to be at 90 degrees. We're going to start leaning forward, getting a nice stretch out through our front outside hip. You can move from side to side and that's going to allow you to get a different angle and a different stretch and trigger throughout that side. Then do that for up to about 30 seconds. Then you're going to move and follow your hands all the way around behind you. You're going to get a stretch out through that back hip flexor and the adductor in there. Get a nice stretch in through there. Some people feel this in their lower back as well. Whatever you feel tends to be where you're tight. But you can also manipulate this with the angles. Okay. Then you're going to move on to the other side. Once again, slowly bringing yourself all the way around, getting a nice stretch out through the back of the inside of your hips there. Right, the last thing I'm going to show you is a Jefferson curl, which you can do either loaded or unloaded with an external weight, that is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to choose to do it unloaded, but you can load it by just using a little bit of pressure and holding onto the back of your calves, which I'm going to show you now. So what we're doing here is we're going to start by really unraveling your spine one vertebrae at a time. So you're going to bring your chin in, rounding your shoulders out, keeping your legs as straight as possible, coming all the way down. If you want to get a little bit more, you can pull on the back of your calves and then come up the same way. Once again, chin in, rounding your shoulders out, cranium down towards the ground. And you want to imagine that your vertebrae is like a string of pearls, and you're dropping one pearl, one vertebrae at a time. And that's just a really great flexion stretch or mobility drill for you to expose your spine to. So that's been a number of mobility drills that you're able to really put together to be able to give your spine and your hips the exposure and to the range of motion that it will need to be able to survive and thrive in the modern world that we live in. I hope you've found this useful. If you have any questions, just shoot.